definitely after that first draft was done, refining it, ensuring it sounded good. It sounded like a mix of what I sound like and what Ashoka wants.
Yeah.
And one thing I think really made a difference was that I scarred the Ashoka website so much that I knew they had a club for dogs, because it's a time of a lot of confusion.
Right.
And it's frankly it's impossible for one student who is studying for exams, doing the applications, to also research the applications in colleges and everywhere they want to apply.
Yeah.
Because this isn't a one test solves all kind of a thing, right? There's very intensive applications for different colleges.
Today we have with us Veera Agarwal, a first-year student at Ashoka University, majoring in economics and public policy. With an impressive knack for writing, she has aced the essay of not just Ashoka University, but a lot of prestigious institutions within and outside India. Adding to her credentials, she has also served as the Secretary General for a lot of Model United conferences. Additionally, she is also skilled in event planning and designing. Hi Veera, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Good, great. So let's get into it. Let's start with the basic. Why did you choose Ashoka? What pulled you into this life of liberal arts, curiosity, chaos?
So I had done IB before. So liberal arts was like a no-brainer for me. I didn't have science, commerce, arts in 11, 12. I had like individual subjects, eco, psych, CS. So I knew I didn't want to do like one particular stream. I knew I wanted to combine a lot of stuff, make my own major, something like that. So that's why Ashoka, I mean, it's in India, it's close. It's affordable compared to other liberal arts colleges. It has a really good name, it has really good placements. So
Yeah, that's the beauty of liberal arts.
yeah.
When you first thought about applying to Ashoka, what was the most exciting part of the application process and what was the most scary part of the application process for you?
Okay, personally, this might be counterintuitive, but I love interviews. I've grown up doing public speaking all my life.
Right.
So I really love having like a conversation with a random person who's asking me questions. It's like, you know, when you're sitting in your room at night alone sometimes and you pretend you're a celebrity and you're getting interviewed and
Yes,
stuff like that.
definitely.
Yeah, so it's just that, but in a more academic setting. So that was definitely the most exciting part.
That's good. So you were liking what's happening right now.
Yeah,
That's
for sure.
So what would be the scariest part for you?
The scariest, I think, was the test. You know, the aptitude test that happened.
Right.
I did not plan on giving CUET. The only admissions test I'd done was SAT. And I wasn't sure because again I didn't have an Indian curriculum, so I wasn't sure what kind of questions there'd be and if I'd be well prepared enough. But it was surprisingly okay because they mostly tested you on logical reasoning and argumentation and stuff like that. So
That's great. That's a really informative answer. So, as we know, you had applied to a lot of universities, even abroad, and you got into almost all of them. That's a plus, definitely. So, you must have written a lot of essays for a lot of universities. So, we should definitely get into the essay part of the Ashoka application. So, personally, for me, as we know, Ashoka essays in Ashoka, they give you a very vague topic to write on, like a very general topic that you can have a lot of topics to write on. So for me the biggest problem was to decide what I actually want to write on. I had like so many ideas in my mind and I could not decide which one to actually go with. So how did you pick your topic? Like, did a person or a moment help you decide and you were like, yup, this is it, I want to do this, I want to write on this? Like, how did you decide what you want to write?
So actually I think our topic was social issue last year, to write about a social issue we cared about. And I think that's also the beauty of these topics, is because you can make it as personal as you want and as academic as you want. So there really doesn't have to be two similar essays. Now if it's something like social issues, then you can assume that a lot of people are going to write on gender equality, climate change, sustainability. So I completely ruled those out. Even though I do care a lot about those issues, you have to be a little bit strategic about it.
Yeah. That
To
makes
make your
sense.
application stand out. So at first, I'd actually written on a different topic. I'd written on neurodiversity because that's something I really cared about.
Okay.
But then I spoke to the school counselor that we have who helps us with our applications,
Alright.
and she told me that this will also weirdly be a common topic among maybe psychology students or something like that.
Right.
And to choose something that's even more personal. And
Okay.
I love animals.
Okay.
So animal cruelty was like a no-brainer for me. I'd done a paper on that before. I had a lot of emotions associated with it. So there was like ethos, pathos, logos, all in one. A very
Yeah.
nice persuasive essay I could make out of that.
That's great. So how did you make sure that your essay sounded like you and not something that the college would want to hear? Because I think that's one problem a lot of people struggle with, that maybe I'm trying too hard and maybe they think that I'm just trying to say this because I want to impress the college.
Yeah.
So how did you get over that?
I think one of the best kinds of advice I'd heard while doing these essays was that make it a story or make it integrated with your story. So almost every single essay I wrote, even for the UCAS, was integrated with like a kind of narrative structure or style. Doesn't mean it didn't have any kind of information, but it was sort of structured in a way where it felt like I was narrating about my life. So that felt a lot more personal than just being like, oh, I've done this.
Yeah, so you made it personal.
Yeah.
It's personal to you. That's good. Let's talk about what went wrong. Like, what was the biggest struggle you faced while writing an essay? Because, like you said, maybe the scariest part for you was the entrance. The scariest part of the application for a lot of people does come down to be the essay. So, what was the struggle you faced while writing an essay? Like writer's block, self-doubt, or too many ideas in mind?
Definitely not too many ideas.
That's
No, because the first step is ruling out the ideas. So sort of treating it like a checklist, going very strategically, what are the pros and cons of writing about this and stuff. What I struggled with most was definitely after that first draft was done, refining it, ensuring it sounded good. It sounded like a mix of what I sound like and what Ashoka wants.
yeah.
Because you have to keep the criteria in mind as well.
Definitely.
So for that, I used to just go to my counselor and be like, rate this 0 on 10. She'd give me a number, I'd go back and work on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Definitely. So 2 things that I got from your answer that I want to ask you about. First thing, you mentioned about the first draft. So how many drafts do you think a person should make before submitting the final essay?
I don't know. That's very personal, but it really depends on how your first draft is. Generally, my first drafts turn out to be really bad.
Yeah.
That I completely scrap.
No, I agree, me too.
Yeah. No, one thing is for sure, your last draft should not look anything like your first draft at all.
Definitely.
Your first draft is just getting ideas down onto paper. So, but yeah, there were a lot.
Yeah.
There were a lot.
At least 5.
Yeah.
And another thing that I got from your answer was that that your essay was a mix of what you wanted to say and what Ashoka wants. So what exactly do you think Ashoka wants from a person or their essay?
So I think they definitely want to see who you are as a person, and also things like consistency, passion, interest. So supposing I'm writing about animal cruelty and a social issue, then I'd want to write about how maybe I've researched into this. Ashoka is really big on research. Maybe I want to write about how many years I've been like thinking about this or exploring this issue, any steps that I've taken towards it. So any kind of active engagement with whatever activity or thing you're writing about, I think reflects really well.
That's great, very informative. So like you said, your counselor had read your essay quite a number of times and rated it. So was there anybody else who also read your final draft before you submitted it? And if yes, Did you get some kind of feedback, or how that helped or did not help?
So I showed it to my parents, my mom. I think what happens is like a generational gap between some of our parents or teachers and us, and they don't really understand what the college is looking for, what you're meant to write. That can cause a little bit of confusion. So what I did was I asked one of my senior friends to read it, and he was brutal with the comments. Almost made me cry, but you just have to learn to like not take it too hard. And I'll be very honest, it's a lot more helpful to get guidance from someone who's like done the essay themselves and knows about it, rather than even though they're older, they have more experience, they don't have experience with this. So it's like completely new territory compared to, you know, your CUET entrance based colleges.
Yeah, definitely. Seems like the solution to this answer is Guidex. Definitely check us out. Okay, so looking back now that your first semester here is almost over, you can look back at your application process. What do you think was that one thing that made your essay stand out? Like, Ashoka has a huge number of applications and you were one of the people to get selected. So, what do you think made your essay stand out? Like, was it your storytelling or was it something else, like your passion or your consistency?
I think it was definitely the fact that I had a mixture of things in the essay. Like the way I'd engaged with the social issue, it wasn't just, oh, I care about this issue. I had done things in relation to that. And one thing I think really made a difference was that I scoured the Ashoka website so much that I knew they had a club for dogs. Like I had literally opened up every single page. One thing they're also looking for is how well you've done your research and you know the college and you're actually interested.
Definitely.
So I mentioned the name of the club and that I want to join this club.
Oh, that's great.
And continue my endeavors here.
Yeah.
So also like that also shows a little bit of confidence that you have plans for when you come to college.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And you're confident that, you know, my essay is good enough for me to get to the college.
Yeah, you're manifesting.
Definitely. Let's go from this essay to the on-the-spot essay for a while. So you get 30 minutes and one prompt on-the-spot essay. So were you like sweating bullets or were you with this, let's do this, we got this attitude?
It was scary.
Definitely.
I think what made it scary was the way they conducted the exam. Even if you look thoda idhar udhar, they're like stop looking idhar udhar, and it's completely like online, no teacher, no mentor around you.
All AI.
All AI.
Definitely.
Yeah. That made the environment a lot tense. So for my on-the-spot essay, it was about applications and whether they should be considered whole-rounded or just test-based.
That's an interesting topic.
It is. I know some of my friends got topics like political apathy, etc. So I feel like you just have to have opinions.
Right.
And you just need to know how to write a little bit. I think what they're looking for here is the way you think, your ideas, and your writing skills, because you need a lot of writing skills here.
Definitely.
So, yeah.
The setting can be actually really intimidating of that essay.
Yeah.
So, do you think there's a way to prepare for the on-the-spot essay? Like, if students actually feel like scared of that part, so is there a way that they could start preparing before the on-the-spot essay for the on-the-spot essay?
Yeah, I think honestly, practicing maybe a few essays, maybe asking somebody you know for previous year's essays or something like that, gauging what kind of topics they'll give. Also, just trying to read and garner some kind of information on just very general things. So supposing they ask you about applications, you can just go like, not everybody has the same kind of resources, so you have to accommodate for that. So just being a little bit aware of things going on around you.
It has to be what comes to your mind when you read the topic and actually articulate it well enough in that 30 minutes time that you get. That's great. So, did you personally have a strategy going in for that? Did you prepare for that?
I didn't prepare for that. I prepared for the aptitude test after that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because honestly, we do essay writing since like grade 8 onwards.
Right.
So I was still okay with that.
Mm-hmm.
But it's definitely really scary when the nerves start hitting you. And seeing a topic that you're unfamiliar with is worse. So I think the main strategy here is learning how to calm yourself down under pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a class you should take. What is there something particular that you would tell students to avoid while writing in these 30 minutes of their essay? Like something that they should absolutely not do.
That's I think getting stuck on, say, making your introduction sound great, or
Yeah.
fixing this sentence, making it like very nice and flowery, because that's not really what they care about at that point. They care more about how you're articulating your thoughts and how quick you can think. So it's not about the vocabulary you use. Like, sure, if you can come up with good stuff on the spot, do it, but don't waste time on that and sort of cost the rest of your essay by messing that part up.
Yeah, definitely. I think your answer also reminds me that all the stuff that you focus on too much while writing your main essay are the things that you cannot practically focus on while writing an on-the-spot essay.
Yeah.
And I think it gets more difficult because the aptitude comes after the application, and now you're just very used to writing your entire essay in 10 days.
Yeah.
Focusing on every flowery word that you can include,
Yeah.
making it the most appropriate thing, and then you just get 30 minutes to write one thing. So
yeah,
definitely that makes it more difficult,
Mm-hmm.
but we need to prioritize. Okay, this thing also reminds me of a very interesting question that I want to come to. So if you compare your two essays, the main essay and your on-the-spot essay, like how do they reflect you? Like, do they reflect two different sides of you, or is it similar or somehow very different?
I think fundamentally they're similar in the sense that I try to make them both a little whole-rounded.
Okay.
So by including as many different perspectives as I could.
Alright.
But they're also different in the sense that I had 10 days to write this one. So it was immensely better. I genuinely thought I would not get the interview round after writing my on-the-spot essay. But the criteria that they judge the two essays for, I think, should be pretty different. So you just have to know what to write when and how to write when.
Right, definitely. So coming at that, what's one tip you would give every 12th grader trying for Ashoka to craft their main essay, and one tip to nail their on-the-spot essay? How do you think they should go on about making it right?
Okay. So for the main essay, that's your application essay, I think is to again try to incorporate as many perspectives as you can without making it too muddled up. So keeping it personal but also including academic elements like research or extracurriculars into it. Also, getting someone to read that really helps, especially someone who's like been through the application process, maybe not just of Ashoka but of other universities abroad or however, and they know what admission officers want. For the on-the-spot essay, again, it's really just sort of calming yourself down, clarifying your thoughts,
Right.
not getting too confused about all of the things you want to write when you see the topic, and keeping it structured and organized.
Right. Not getting too confused and messed up in your thoughts.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you could go back and change one thing about your essay, what would you change, or would you just leave them exactly as how they were?
I think I'd leave my main essay as it was. I think that was one of the last essays I think I wrote, maybe, or in the middle. But I think considering the perspective I came from as a 12th grader, it was a really nice, well-made, comprehensive essay.
Right.
The on-the-spot essay, if I could redo, I'd redo it in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So what's one thing that about the entire essay writing process of the process that nobody talks about, and it can be a problem or anything that you want to say, but something that every applicant should know and something that's not very said or talked about.
Mhm. I think it's just the fact that, like, to not get too stuck with the language, and work with the content at first. So I have this habit of writing very flowery, very flowy. Can I speak in Hindi?
Yeah.
एकदम like घुमा घुमा के बात करना type of a thing.
Right.
Like when you beat around the bush, you create a little bit of suspense, and then you get to the main point. You don't have enough words for that. You can't do that.
Just 600 and you have to inculcate everything, all your thoughts in that 600 words.
Exactly. And it's a very vague topic.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
you ideally should have a lot of thoughts to write about. So a lot of people don't talk about condensing it or prioritizing what to keep and what not to keep.
Right.
So moving from that first draft to the second draft, I think, is the hardest part. And that's where, like, having some good feedback really helps.
Right.
Where someone can guide you about, like, what exactly to go, which direction to take now.
I really do believe in that as well, because as you said, getting from the first draft to the second draft can get really, really difficult, because the first draft is just you and your thoughts, and the amount of days I spent on it, I fell in love with my first draft, and I just did not want to change even a word of what like anybody else had to say. But I knew that that was just because I had been reading it for so many times that I got so used to my first draft.
Yeah.
And then I went to people and I was like, can you read it and just give me some opinions? And they were like, it's okay, but you need to make a lot of changes. And I was like, okay, like I have to.
Yeah.
You got this.
It's like letting go of a baby.
Yeah, genuinely it feels like that. Yeah. And then you just grab all of it, not all of it, keep the idea, and then you start writing again. So
yeah,
you definitely have to do that. Another thing you talked about was language. I also do believe in that a lot, because everyone will tell you that make it sound very posh, make it sound nice, that you have a very good English, you have good vocabulary. But genuinely, I feel like more than that, what matters, that definitely matters. You can't write in broken English or anything like that. But what matters more than that is also the thought behind the essay and how personal it is also to you. I always suggest people to include like some sort of anecdotes if it's a personal essay. So that's definitely there. I think we'll get to the last question. So when you were transitioning from your school to your college, and during this entire process where you applied to Ashoka and a lot of other universities, did you have like a mentor that helped you through this entire process, not just for Ashoka but for everything that you did? And do you think it's important to have a mentor during this time?
It's really important to have a mentor because it's a time of a lot of confusion.
Right.
And it's frankly impossible for one student who is studying for exams, doing the applications, to also research the applications in colleges and everywhere they want to apply. Yeah. Because this isn't a one test solves all kind of a thing, right? There's very intensive applications for different colleges. So it's definitely important to have a mentor. I had my school counselor who was very hands-on, so I was lucky with that. But some of the information she gave, I had to cross-check as well. Because again, she's taking care of like the whole batch's applications. So you have
100 people.
Yeah, you have to be mindful. And then obviously I could seek emotional support from my parents, but not as much guidance related to applications because they're not from this field. They've been out of touch with education for a while now. So mostly I was looking up to my seniors and friends and discussing what they wrote and how I can improve my essay. So I definitely think that having a personal mentor who's just sitting with you throughout the experience and helping you out
is great.
Can like really change the whole game.
That's good. That's really good.
Yeah.
That was a really good interview. Meera, did you enjoy being here?
I enjoyed being here a lot. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. That's it for our podcast today. Keep following for more.